Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Theater Watch. My name is Dave Conover, and this evening we're here with members of the cast of Cheaper by the Dozen. We have Dad, played by David Clark, Mom, played by Antje Weiman, and Anne, who is played by Amara Schroba. Got through that.
Perfect.
So, Amara, I'm going to want to call you Anne because that's what I've been hearing so much of the time. You play Anne in the show. By the way, welcome to First Avenue Playhouse. This is you're the new face in the crowd, so
That's me.
I'm going to pick on you first. So sorry about that. So, like I said, welcome to First Avenue Playhouse. How did you happen to find us?
Well, thank you. And actually, my aunt lives down the street from Ansha, and she always knows that Ansha does plays here. So she heard about Cheaper by the Dozen, and they were looking for a 17-year-old girl, and then here I am.
They found you. So, being a 17-year-old girl in 2016, tell me, do you find it any different playing a 17-year-old girl in, say, 1923 or 24, whenever this play takes place?
Well, I would say the costumes are certainly different. Like, the clothing they wore back then, totally different. But all in all, parent and teenage daughter banter back and forth. I think that will always stay the same, so it's not too much different.
So the conflicts, you don't see them as being terribly different from one century to the next.
No,
Probably-
definitely not the same
But
thing.
probably hasn't been either, so.
Yeah.
So it's, okay, thank you. Antje, I think this is the first time a lot of us have done a period piece. Do you approach the character of the mother any differently than you would in a play that's takes place in the present day?
Yes and no. Yes, because 1920 requires a different demeanor. Like people, for example, have to sit in a very different way. And obviously the language is different. In a modern play, a mother would be more relaxed or be more blunt in relationship to the children and also in relationship to the husband. Now in this play, the mother and the father have an interesting relationship because in a way they're equal, because obviously they raise these 12 children together and they love each other and they have each other's back. However, the mother would never in public dispute what the dad has decided or what the dad would do. So there's a wink here and there. And obviously there's a smile here and there when dad does something foolish or dad doesn't get his way. But it wouldn't be in a way that we would see that in a modern play where there's a conflict in a more open fashion. So in that respect, yeah, I think the play is very different from modern times.
So the conflicts that might exist between you and your husband are taken care of almost under the surface.
Yes.
And they're much more attuned to each other as opposed to saying it out loud and having the children hear it. I see your point. David, there are a number of colloquialisms that you tend to use more than others, and there are certain colloquialisms, and I think you're aware of this, that you might be inclined to say as Amara,
Yes.
but would not even think of saying because you're now Anne. So, but David, tell me about your approach to the role of Father Frank.
Oh, well, it's just a mind-boggling, the concept nowadays of having 12 children, intending to have 12 children. It's very interesting. The thing that I find challenging is that I believe in that time period there would be much less public displays of affection. So when I'm on stage with the kids, I do very few public displays. So that's the big moment at the end when we have a big embrace.
Oh, I see.
I do a little ruffling of hair and maybe a pat on the shoulder, but that's, and I think that's appropriate for the period.
Right.
I think I think if you watched like the 86 version of Cheaper by the Dozen, there's much more of, slapstick going on.
Mm-hmm.
By Jinko.
Yes. One of those colloquialisms.
Yeah.
Cheaper by the Dozen is currently playing here at First Avenue Playhouse for the month of September. The play opens on Friday night, September 2nd, and runs for 4 weeks through something like the 27th or 28th, whatever this Saturday is. And we have a Sunday matinee, which I believe is on September 18th. Good, I got that right. So come out and see it. It's a very famous show. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. And that's all we have for today. So thank you for watching, and come out and see Cheaper by the Dozen, First Avenue Playhouse. Thank you very much, and thank you all for sitting in with me. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
All right, thank you. Bye.